far north region of Queensland is home to some of the largest sugarcane producers in Australia, and in the small town of Mossman, the local community and farmers face a challenging time ahead with the recent closure of the Mossman mill.
Bit devastated at the moment the way the industry is in Mossman. Doing our best to try and keep things alive if we can.
Contractors are telling me, they'll be lucky to get 40%.
We've had a bit of a whammy. In November we had a mill go into voluntary administration. In December we had Jasper, then the floods. And then basically ever since then we've been spiralling downwards.
The stress involved, especially for the likes of contractors, owners of businesses, that's impacted family life. So yeah, there's a lot of impact and it sucks.
Together with my husband Joe, we're third generation cane farmers. We also have a harvesting contract. The current situation is that we do no longer have a Mossman mill. We've been given a lifeline to send our cane to Mulgrave to get crushed for this year, an hour and a half away, roughly. With regards to the mill not working, well, we cannot see a future. We're sort of living from day to day, wondering what's going to happen next. We're wondering how we're going to be paying our debts off. We're wondering what we're going to do next year for a living. They say we need to transition. Transition into what? It doesn't work with our weather conditions here. Sugar is what grows. Whether it floods, rains, sugar survives.
About 120 to 150 mill jobs have been lost. Probably half the farming jobs have been lost now. There's still some get employed throughout the harvest to get this crop off. And then there's all the indirect jobs with small businesses throughout town, which is hard to measure at the moment. You can't see them sticking around either. We're very sad for the whole community in the town, really. I don't think we realised how much of an impact the industry had on the town. A lot of jobs, and it generated a lot of income for the community.
We ran into a few problems with lightning strike at the mill, destroyed our alternator. The floods we've had, our trucking company left us, so we had to buy trucks to do it ourselves. The usual thing, a whole series of things happened to get us where we are today. People aren't spending money. We're not planting and doing things we should be doing. People aren't investing in the town like they should. Things just aren't happening.
The mill closure means that all this land that you've probably seen in your travels will become redundant. I mean, it won't have a use.
And here we are, we've spent 9 months of our lives trying to keep our lives and livelihood going because of the fact that the mill went into voluntary administration. The government was proposing to give us money if we didn't cut the crop. And we sat back and thought, oh, well, if we cut the crop, we make some money on it. But at the moment, a lot of people, e.g. the contractors, have had to spend a lot of money before we even started cutting cane. The growers have had to pay money to get it transported and then also pay money for the stands that are getting built.
The existing sugarcane railway network throughout Mossman is no longer in operation due to the closure. Instead, ramps have been installed along the rail networks to enable farmers to load the trucks, which are significantly taller than the cane bins.
My wife and I spent just over $100,000 on ramps, which we'll never get back.
Getting the cane crushed is very difficult. We're doing less tonnage per day because of the trucks. They can only cart 25 tonnes per load, and we're not getting very far. Since we've started in mid-July till now, I think we've only cut about 76,000 tonnes of cane, whereas by now we would have been halfway through the crushing and maybe been up to 150 to 200,000 tonnes. But that's how it is when you do transport, and we're an hour and a half away from the nearest mill.
We were hoping there would be some sort of investor that would take over the mill and, with government help, refurbish the mill to some degree. It'll never be like new, but refurbish it so it can crush a crop and we could start again.
I would hope that someone would convert this mill in the next year or so into a juice mill, and then the Gordon Vale mill that now is crushing our cane will take the juice, and there would be enough farmers left to grow the cane.
The only light at the end of the tunnel that we've got is somebody who wants to take on this mill.
The answer here is that you'd like to still continue to be able to do what you're doing, and everyone really needs to work together and contribute to the fact. Whether that can happen or not, we don't know. The unfortunate thing is it's going to be a lot of hard work to get us all back up and running again. It's just going to have to be small steps to move forward.
If you could wave a magic wand, I would say I'd like to see the mill back, get our production up, and let's carry on, because this is a sugar industry. Sugar is not going to be a thing of the past. Sugar is going to be a thing of the future. There's lots of things that can be done with sugar. We can create energy through biogas generation. We can have aviation fuel, fertiliser, biodigested biodiesel, and I can only hope that Mossman remains a sugar milling area.
Without a mill here, it's pretty hard to see how we can keep growing cane. Not that there's much wrong with that mill, but it's designed to crush 1.2 million tonnes, and you have a lot of fixed costs associated with that. We know we can grow biomass crops, we know the technology is there to make biofuels, but we just need to find a market to provide that fuel to and get someone to invest in building a place where you can refine biofuels or produce biofuels.
Although the cane farmers in Mossman are working through the 2024 season, the fight isn't over yet for this community. Facing an uncertain future, our hard-working primary producers need your help and support. Without action, they risk losing not only their livelihoods, but a township built on over 130 years of cane farming. You can help by sharing this video, demand support from state and federal government, stand with our farmers to help create new opportunities, or donate directly via the Mossman Cane Farmers GoFundMe page.